Abraham Lincoln will forever be remembered as the man who held our nation together during its most uncertain hour. No other president has fought so hard or sacrificed more for our Union. But Lincoln's legacy as the great uniter reaches far beyond the resolution of the Civil War. First, he held us north to south. Then, he bound us east to west. At the height of the Civil War, with unity so much on his mind, President Lincoln sought a way to connect and secure the great expanse of our nation, to unite it entirely from sea to shining sea. On July 1st, 1862, after decades of debate and disagreement on the matter, Lincoln brought the Transcontinental Railroad to life with the stroke of his pen. And with that same stroke, he created Union Pacific. In the 1830s, the idea of building a railroad to the Pacific Ocean had seemed ludicrous to most Americans. 3,000 miles of track? Why, there weren't more than 300 miles of track in the entire country. And much of the land to be crossed on the way to the Pacific, besides belonging to Great Britain and Mexico, was believed to be fundamentally uninhabitable. By the time Lincoln was elected in 1860, public opinion had reversed. The Republican platform that year pledged to stop the spread of slavery, to establish daily mail service, and to build a transcontinental railroad. Lincoln, a former railroad attorney, believed that a route to the Pacific was vital to the state of the Union. A transcontinental railroad would support communities and military outposts on the frontier. It would give settlers safe and dependable passage west. It would open trade with the Far East. And most importantly, it would tie new states, such as California and Oregon, to the rest of the country. A railroad would bring the entire nation closer. Even before he became president, Lincoln was taken with the idea of a transcontinental railroad. On a visit to Iowa in 1859, he sat down with Grenville Dodge, who would one day become Union Pacific's chief engineer, to discuss the best route for such a venture. Lincoln remembered Dodge's advice, and in 1863, by executive order, he decided that Omaha Council Bluffs would be Union Pacific's starting point. Ground was broken in Omaha almost immediately, but due to many delays, the first rails wouldn't be laid until 2 years later, just a few months after Lincoln's death. The president would never see the true impact of his leadership, though perhaps he foresaw how the railroad would change us, how it would draw Americans together, by trade, by travel, and by thought. With trains to carry our books and newspapers and letters, Americans could all be a part of the same national conversation. For settlers along the railroad's path, the tracks were a lifeline. More than 7,000 cities and towns west of the Missouri began as Union Pacific depots and water stops. And these are places that Union Pacific continues to serve today. Like so much of Lincoln's legacy, our railroad is still a vital part of American life. Nearly everything that families and businesses depend on, every raw material and every finished good, from food and fuel to building supplies and vehicles, is carried and delivered by our trains. The men and women of Union Pacific today remain committed to the mission given to us by Abraham Lincoln himself, to connect and support the communities that define this country, to make America, our best way of life and our brightest future, possible.